Now, there are actually only 9 of them here, but there are 10 remembered here. One of them, Patrick Marr, his family wanted him to be buried down in his home of Ballylanders in County Limerick. But we have 9 others. They were, as I say, executed in Mountjoy. They were buried, they were put into limestone, they were buried in the grounds of Mountjoy Prison. But the government spent a long time locating their graves and trying to bring them back and give them the proper honours that they felt that they were due. Yeah. So they built this tombstone, the cross on the tombstone, and it says, for the glory of God and for the honour of Ireland. And that bronze wreath was designed by the artist Robert Fallon. So they were brought back here in 2001. They were exhumed in Mountjoy Prison, and they were brought back here and reburied in 2001. Now there's a very famous man here that I'm sure you've all heard of, Kevin Barry. I'm sure you've all heard the ballad of Kevin Barry. If you ever want to be immortalised, get a ballad written about you. You'll never be forgotten. But Kevin Barry was just a lad of 18 summers. He had gone to Belvedere College down the road, and he was studying medicine in UCD. He was only 18. And one morning he had joined the volunteers during the War of Independence, and they got a call that morning to go out and attack a British convoy to get the weapons. So he actually had an exam that afternoon, imagine. So he said, Ash, we'll do this, no problem. I suppose he said to himself in his innocence. And down they went. It was just near Bolton Street, Church Street in the inner city, and they attacked the British convoy. But the British convoy, there was more soldiers there than they thought, so they returned fire. Now, during the shooting, Kevin Barry's gun jammed, and he ran under a lorry, a parked lorry, just to unjam it and try and fix it. And the battle went on, and the volunteers knew they were going to lose, so they decided to withdraw. But he was left underneath the lorry. But wasn't he spotted by a local woman? Now, out of the goodness of her heart, God love her, she thought, oh God, somebody's going to run over him. And didn't she point him out to the British soldiers? Oh. Yeah. God love her. I all feel sorry about that. I don't know who she was, but she must have felt awful afterwards. Yeah. But the British soldiers dragged him out, arrested him, brought to Mountjoy. He was tortured. He was put on trial. Now again, in his innocence, he's only 18. He didn't recognise. He said, "I'm refusing to recognise the court." And he was reading his newspaper all during the proceedings. And he even wrote a letter to his friend saying, "Tell the landlady I'll fix up the rent when I get home." He thought he was going to get out. Well, he didn't. He was found guilty. And he was sentenced to be hanged. Now, he asked to be shot because he said, I'm a political prisoner. He wanted to be a soldier. He shot like a soldier, and they said no. So he had the ignominy of being hanged. He very bravely went to his death. It caused outrage in Ireland at the time because it was the first execution since the leaders of the 1916 Rising had been executed. And it was only 2 days since Terence McSweeney had died on hunger strike down in Cork. So Michael Collins had tried to organise a prison break and get him out. It didn't work out. He never forgave himself for that. But the one good thing for the IRA at the time was there was a huge surge of people who joined up. So they got recruits out of it. But that was the only good side of it, I suppose. But the other sad thing is, on the British side, one of the British soldiers who was shot that morning, he was only 16. So you have a lad of 18 on one side and a lad of 16 on the other. I say one is remembered by a ballad, and we won't ever forget him. So that's Kevin Barry. So they're all back with us now in Glasnevin Cemetary. Now,